Read Junk.
Read Junk.
ReadJunk
Podcast.
ReadJunk Podcast with your host, my guy.
Hey everyone, this is the ReadJunk Podcast, and I'm your host, Bryan. We're back with a new episode. Yay! This time with Eric and Ryan talking alternative Christmas movies, or movies that take place during Christmas. Basically, this started with Ryan was posting on social saying that watching the Christmas classic Lethal Weapon. And I'm like, wait, is it? I feel like, well, I guess we can talk about this on the podcast. So we have a bit of a debate about whether certain movies are Christmas movies or not Christmas movies. Do they take place during Christmas movies and that's it? Do they just have a Christmas scene? But it's a fun chat. On another point, it's the holiday season. So if you're in need of some gift ideas or, I'm selling a bunch of cool shirts on TeePublic. You can find a link in the description. But help me out. Buy some shirts. As always, be sure to like ReadJunk on social media and tell your friends about the podcast. As much as I like doing these movie and music discussions with friends, I will start interviewing bands again. So I feel I'm kind of like taking a break this year with it just because I'm like, so when do you think we're going to be doing shows again? But we'll get there again. We'll start interviewing bands again. But anyway, let's get started. Here's Eric, Ryan, and I talking alternative Christmas movies right here on the ReadJunk Podcast. Ho, ho, ho. So, how you guys doing?
All right, man. How are you?
I'm good.
Same
good.
as always.
Yeah. I can't believe it's December already.
I know, right?
It's like once Halloween hits, everything's just to the end of the year.
Well, if there's any year for smarch weather, this is going to be it.
Yeah.
Lousy smarch weather.
Stupid smarch weather.
What's Smarch weather?
So that was I believe it was a Simpsons Halloween. Oh, yes, because it was the one they parodied Nightmare on Elm Street where groundskeeper Willie got killed in the furnace.
Yes.
Because it was the 13th day of the 13th month. And Homer goes, stupid smarch weather, and he turns up the thermostat, which makes Willie catch on fire, and that's how that whole thing began.
Oh. I remember that, I think.
You need to go watch it then again.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know. It's weird with The Simpsons because it's like I'll tape them and then I'm like I'll be in the mood, but I'm mainly just I'll like watch Family Guy and then I'll save The Simpsons. So I haven't watched any new season episodes this season.
I don't think I've watched a new episode in 10 years.
Well, it's got Alex from Hepcats in it now, so I'm like, well.
That's true. Yeah, that's actually very true. You got to support Alex.
You know what's really cool about catching a new Simpsons is there's like, wow, all right, they still have it, but it's just not the must-sit-down viewing it used to be. But I always enjoy seeing a new episode and be like, okay, they still have their act together, and they've updated some of the animation techniques, and the opening's a little bit different. So I think it's pretty cool when you see a new Simpsons these days.
Yeah, I would say when I finally do getting around to watching it, there's at least one or two that really stand out per season, like the new seasons. But it's always like the first 5 minutes where I usually find the funniest for Simpsons, and it's been that way for like decades.
Yeah, I mean, there's always like the 5 minute like almost throwaway mini episode, and then it gets on to like the real actual.
And it's like, oh fuck, a Lisa episode.
And then you turn it off.
Yep.
We'll try again next week.
Yep, it's a mega episode. Turn it off if you want.
But I wanted to gather you guys here so we can talk about alternative Christmas movies or Christmas adjacent or just movies that take place during Christmas time, holiday season. And what sprung it was, I guess Ryan was watching Lethal Weapon, so I figured that's going to be his first choice. Which I haven't seen Lethal Weapon forever, so it was like, I'm like, it was it? I'm like, oh yeah, it was. But I guess we need to consider what movies are Christmas movies or just movies that take place during Christmas. So you kind of have to have that debate.
That's true. I mean, there's three of us. It's a three panel judge. The assignment is this a Christmas movie or is it just a movie that takes place during Christmas?
Right.
I'm officially declaring that this podcast episode is the end all be all. Because
no one talked about this before.
No. Well, no. But of course, people have had this discussion. But I'm saying tonight,
I have
recording this episode, we are clearly going to define the movies that we talk about tonight. We will clearly define for here on out. This is canon. Is this a Christmas movie or a movie that takes place during Christmas?
And there's one movie that is sure to come up in this conversation, and I have a very interesting story, what I'm going to call my first ever run-in with the press regarding this movie as a Christmas movie. So I'm just going to use that as a teaser. So we'll get to this, and yeah.
Keep listening, or just fast forward until you hear.
Or just tell us now, because I'm kind of curious.
All right. Well, I guess all right. Fine. I'll just go right in. Die Hard, of course, is I'm going to say the ultimate non-Christmas movie, of course, because yes, it takes place on Christmas Eve in the Nakatomi Building in LA, and they just is there a reason it has to take place at Christmas? Not really, other than the fact that they need an excuse to bring a New York cop out to LA to see his estranged wife. Everybody likes Christmas. Christmas is about bringing families together, and cue Alan Rickman playing a German guy speaking nonsense German. Yeah, actually, and the other main German guy is also not German. He was played by a Russian dissident.
Yeah, the dancer guy, right?
Yeah, exactly. Alexander Godunov, I believe, was the actor's name.
He was in Money. He was in Money Pit, but what other movies was he in the 80s?
Something called The Rune or The Rune Stone, which I don't think anybody saw who didn't also see Die Hard.
Yeah. But I remember he was in Money Pit with Tom Hanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, well, there's so much to unpack with Die Hard, but to bring it into this discussion and with my little tease there. So in 1993, I was in 9th grade at high school in Flemington, New Jersey. Ryan and I went to the same high school. And I believe our campus paper was The Lamp. Wasn't it called The Lamp, Ryan, or something like that?
The Lamp sounds correct.
So I was in the library, but because our high school was a hoity-toity, it was the something media center or whatever. They wouldn't call it a library. And I hear a reporter from The Lamp asking people what their favorite Christmas movies are. And I was researching something on one of the computers. And I'm listening, and then I went, hey, does Die Hard count? Well, flash forward a couple days, that article's in the paper, and it said, when asked, a confused underclassman said, hey, does Die Hard count? And I'm like, wait a minute. I was not confused. Yes, I was an underclassman, but I was certainly not confused at all. So that was my first ever run-in with the press.
So what year was this?
That's 1993 we're talking.
So you're probably the start of this whole debate then.
I can certainly claim, because that article went the equivalent of viral and then sat in a drawer for the past 27 years, and somebody dug it out, and now it's like, oh, so that's where it all came from. It's because of me.
Thanks, Eric.
So everyone, you're welcome.
Well, there you go. Well, you started it, and tonight we will
get together. Have a few laughs.
That's right.
Have a good time.
But you're right. It does hit some of the core trademarks of a Christmas movie. I mean, it's about family. It's about
Run DMC.
Run DMC, of course.
It's so many Christmas movies.
I know, but it's got family togetherness and forgiveness, and watching out for each other, and the spirit of giving. And by that I mean giving you a lot of bullet holes.
I was going to say giving lead.
Well done.
Yeah, and and redemption of a cop,
right, redemption.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it does. I think it counts as a Christmas movie because it's and I think because so many people have declared it as such. I mean, outside of like literal movies that are like, all right, this has Santa Claus in it. All right, well, duh, it's a Christmas movie. It's like some Christmas movies are somewhat defined by culture, and I think people have defined this as like the Die Hard is like of probably all the movies we're going to talk about tonight. Die Hard is probably the ultimate anti-Christmas Christmas movie, so to speak, in a sense of like I don't want to watch like fucking sappy sentimental garbage.
I mean, Bad Santa is a Christmas movie, but that's an anti-Christmas movie.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, that is definitely an anti-Christmas Christmas movie as well.
But Die Hard 2 is also
Die Hard 2 also Christmas.
They went back to that well.
The underdog of anti-Christmas Christmas movies, because you don't remember that, which takes place on Christmas Eve
as well. Yeah, both Die Hard and Die Hard 2 take place on Christmas Eve.
It's like 2 years afterwards, I guess.
2 years, yeah, 88 and 90. So if there's ever a Die Hard 6, I think they need to come full circle and it be on Christmas again.
Well, only if Shane Black writes it. and we can create the Die Hard Lethal Weapon Christmas movie multiverse.
All right, let's come up with the plot for Die Hard 6. John McClane's in the retirement community and it gets taken over by terrorists.
It's Gruber's grandson is coming. It's a lovely reboot because it's going to be a generational hand down. So we're going to because like Die Hard 5 tried. I think they tried to do that, but it failed. So we'll try this again. We'll reboot this, or we'll try again with another son that we forgot that.
We'll retcon that one.
Bruce had.
Or what?
If you want to go full just darkness, maybe John McClane has lost his mind in retirement and his pension's gone, so he has to stage a robbery to get himself through his golden years. I'm just saying.
Ooh.
Die Hard
they would
fanfic.
never go for it, but.
All right. So since this whole discussion about this that popped in my head, we should talk about Lethal Weapon next, right?
We should. Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, actually, before we move on, I think we should officially vote. Give our vote. Die Hard, Christmas movie that takes place during Christmas.
I will say it's a Christmas movie, but I can watch it anytime. So,
fair enough.
Yeah.
I say it's a Christmas movie.
I'm inclined to agree with Ryan just because I've seen Die Hard so many times, but of all those times, I want to say that 99% of them have been during December.
All right, there it is. Stamp of approval. Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
It came out in July, though, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a summer movie.
Yeah. And that's like a lot of these movies that I have on my list are just, they're released. I mean, you can watch them anytime. That's what's kind of like funny. And it's kind of like when you're watching like an old TV show like Wings or Seinfeld. It's like, oh, it's a Christmas episode, kind of thing. It's the same thing with this, where it's like there's like one movie that has just like one Christmas scene in it. It's like, I don't want to watch Christmas in July. It's like, but let's talk about Lethal Weapon next. So it's okay. Die Hard and Die Hard 2 are Christmas movies.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So Lethal Weapon also takes place during the Christmas season. I don't remember if they declare a specific date.
No, it's never declared when it is, except I guess for the last scene when he gets invited in for. It's called Christmas dinner, I guess.
Yeah.
But.
So yes. So either Christmas Eve or Christmas night itself as Christmas dinner. So all things leading up is probably the first. I'd say like 2 or 3 weeks. So definitely early December. Most of this film takes place. But we open up with Jingle Bell Rock, I think is the our opening title sequence music.
Okay, so we got a song.
Okay, we have a throwaway scene of cops practicing Christmas carols.
Oh, that's right. And if you guys remember, one of them is, instead of a baton or like a conductor's baton, he's using a fucking nightstick to lead the cop. It's like, that did not age very well.
You have, obviously, there's Christmas decorations all over the place throughout the whole film. The Murtaugh's house is all done up. So like the physical presence of Christmas is clearly there. This film is clearly meant to be during Christmas. But then you also have these larger redemption arcs throughout the film, certainly through Murtaugh and through the other guy. Riggs. Jesus Christ, I can pull his name out.
I know. I haven't seen Lethal Weapon in a while.
I'm getting old. I just watched it. I have no excuse. I'm getting old. I'm drinking it today. So Riggs is dealing with all right. So we're gonna spoiler alert. But
at this
Riggs
point, fuck them if you can.
He's
Bruce Wayne was Batman.
He's dealing with his dead wife. He's suicidal. He's he's on the edge. He has nobody. You have Murtaugh, who is dealing with somewhat mortality. It's his 50th birthday. But he has his family. So you have this coming together of family and Riggs finding a reason to live, and so to speak, not to be too sentimental, but he starts to find his path over the course of the movies. So maybe do you have influences of It's a Wonderful Life? What would life be without Riggs? But you also have the creation of a new family. Riggs is by the end of the movie, he is accepted into and literally invited into have Christmas dinner and finds himself a new family. So again, those aren't necessarily that's strictly Christmas, but I think that again there is this season of family connections. The idea of forgiveness. I mean, probably potentially forgiveness in himself,
right.
to move on. It's okay to move on from my dead wife. I can be happy. So I think all of those elements build this into. I think it's more subtle. I don't think it's overtly a Christmas movie, but I think at the same time, the seasonality of it. It is certainly. Aside from Shane Black's hard on to make all of his movies take place during Christmas, the film could have taken place at any other time, but he chose it to happen at Christmas because I saw it. So it clearly has there's a resonance there that I think he wants to have in the film.
Is there any Christmas puns in this movie?
I
don't remember.
Good. To be honest, I don't remember if they were. They're not so on the nose.
Well, there's not a pun per se, but if you remember when he goes to try to talk the guy off the ledge, he opens up by saying, "Hey, Merry Christmas." Rather than
there we go.
Hey,
okay,
hey.
As long as there's some type of reference.
Yeah, not just "Hey, pal" or whatever. He's like, "Merry Christmas." You stay away from me. Yeah. Okay. So
there you go.
It is acknowledged.
Okay. All right. So where do you guys stand on it? You think Christmas movie or just a movie that takes place during Christmas?
Good question.
I said it. I'm gonna stamp this. I'm gonna stamp it a Christmas movie. I just feel I feel like there's enough overt themes, and it was clearly the much more of the very overt decision, I think, to make it take place during Christmas. Gives it that stronger edge, and we'll go from there.
Also interesting versus the Die Hard franchise, which immediately returned to the same well. It's Christmas again. Lethal Weapon 2 ad nauseum never went back to that premise again.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
They're just it's whatever time of the year it is.
I think I like Lethal Weapon 2 the best. I'm trying to remember. I think it was. Yeah, I think I was. Yeah, I think it was like that one, or like even like the fourth one was pretty fun with like Jet Li. Or is that 5? I don't remember. Was there a 5? I don't remember.
They're
working on it, right?
Before COVID hit, it was supposed to be fast track, but
right.
There was the quote unquote fan made Lethal Weapon 5 in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, I haven't seen the show, so yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun show.
As much as you lay a good argument for it, I for some reason I can't go the stamp Christmas movie on it though. I don't know. I'm torn. I'm torn on it.
It's torn. I don't have it. I don't have as it's not as strong of an argument. I will very concede that for absolute certain.
You can watch Lethal Weapon, I feel, any time of the year.
I mean,
and
any
still
of
have
these
a good
movies.
time.
Yeah, I mean, any of these movies.
But there is enough stuff. Like if you guys remember when Gary Busey drives his car, he shoots up the Murtaugh's house, and the old 1950s version of A Christmas Carol is on, and the washerwoman, which is my go-to English accent, she's like, "Tell me, what day is this? What day was Christmas Day?" And right as he says, he shoots the TV, he goes, "It's goddamn Christmas!"
There's also like a note on the Christmas tree, I think, or something. Or it's like, "Ho ho ho."
Nothing.
Or
Nobody here but us good guys signed the bad. Or I'm messing it up, but
it was something like that because I was kind of doing somewhat of research. Look at me, but I forget what the note was. But yeah, all right. What do you?
All right, Brian.
Oh, all right.
I guess Eric.
Eric, you go.
I think it's down to you. Make you got a stamp on Lethal Weapon.
Well,
you know what? Kind of with Die Hard, I will usually just watch this movie in December. So, I'm still going with Christmas movie on this one.
All right.
That's with Die Hard. I think it's Christmas movie.
all right.
Chunk. It is stamped Christmas movie.
I have
Brian, what's your first on your list?
I actually have it's a recent movie. It's Shazam.
It's what?
Shazam.
Oh. Shazam.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's a superhero movie.
I've not seen it, so I'm not
Is
gonna have a lot.
Is that Shaq?
No, it's the superhero movie that came out like last year. With
Shaq was Kazam.
Kazam. Sorry, I get my Kazams and Shazams and Kablams all mixed up.
But it's got I'm like drawing a blank on the actor's name, but it's a good cast. It's got Mark Strong as the bad guy, and opening scene takes place during Christmas, where it's the villain, and then the villain at some point there's a deleted scene where he goes and kills his family during a deleted scene or during a Christmas party. The end battle takes place during a Christmas village kind of thing, like fair, and it's got Santa Claus running around and all the superheroes are kind of saving the day. But it's kind of like, I didn't really think about it until I'm like, oh yeah, it is kind of like, it takes place I thought it took place during like the winter months, but it's actually Christmas because there's tons of Christmas lights all over the place, and there's lots of Christmas themes, and there's Christmas music in it. So it's one that I think that is considered somewhat a Christmas movie, despite it being a superhero movie. It's a really good movie if you guys haven't seen it. I
have not.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the better DC movies that has come out in the last couple of years.
All right. Well, I've been I shouldn't say avoiding it, but it's not been high on my. Oh yeah, I need to check that one off and finally watch that list.
I mean, I liked it better than Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and like all those other DC movies.
All right.
Yeah, I mean the only ones. Yeah, I mean they don't. It doesn't. It's up there with like, I won't say like Dark Knight, but those Batman movies. Like it was very enjoyable, really funny, and definitely has like a heart to it as well. So it's definitely got that Christmas heart.
All right.
But since you guys haven't seen it, this Christmas movie.
There you go.
Unilateral stamping
That's right.
from Bryan.
All right. You guys go next.
Eric, what's on your
All right.
mind?
Here's a bit of a strange one, but this was part of my Christmas action theater package back when I was in middle school and high school. And by theater, I mean me alone in my room watching these movies by myself. Because in my head, I would make up like promos for them that only I could see, and
In a world.
Of course.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. But so this movie is not a Christmas movie, but it does take place at Christmas, so it fills the theme. And it's not a very good movie. I mean, if you look at it now, you'd be like, wow, this is pretty lame. Is Batman Returns.
I do have it on the list, yes.
Okay.
I had it on my list as well.
It's
for discussion.
The thing is, it has some interesting things going on about it, but overall it's pretty disappointing, especially considering how enjoyable was the 89 version with Jack Nicholson and all that. So
I fucking hated the movie.
it's a weird melding of Batman and Edward Scissorhands, like the theater of the grotesque that Tim Burton loves, and he tried to shoehorn that into a Batman universe, and it just didn't really work.
It's a Batman movie almost without Batman.
Yeah, precisely.
I think that Danny DeVito that whole ruined it for me. Just the fish guts, the way he looked, it was just everything about that. I'm like, why couldn't it just be about Catwoman?
Yeah, no, I mean Michelle Pfeiffer was very sexy in that Catwoman costume. Yeah. Of course,
she awoke into things in all of us that summer.
Yes, indeed. But overall, there's a couple of good things about it. I really like the score by Danny Elfman, which I do own.
I mean, I own all the scores, yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else I really like about the movie, and there's honestly not much.
Well, as far as the Christmas stuff, though, there was I think Christopher Walken's character was doing a speech, and then there was a big giant present thing, and then all these creepy little acrobatic kind of guys jumping out of it. And then at the end, like he said, "Oh, Merry Christmas, Alfred," and then he was looking for Catwoman. So I mean, there's some references to it, and kind of have like that, like la 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 la, like kind of like from the score. I kind of had that like Carol kind of creepiness. Same thing for Edward Scissorhands.
I think there is more in the. This is a movie that takes place during Christmas, or Burton. Maybe this is, I don't know. Maybe this is like proto Nightmare Before Christmas. Like I want to
interesting.
like screw around with like Christmas theme or Christmas styling and like filter through like the Burtonosphere or whatever, and see what comes out the other side, and like just screw around with it from that perspective. But I think as far as like theme, like again, I think the biggest thing we're possibly thinking about here, with a lot of these movies is there a theme that like kind of uniquely resonates with Christmas time in this film, and I haven't watched it for a while, but I'm struggling to think of like an overt kind of like an overt theme or message or learning, so to speak, if you will, from the film. I mean, there's some forgiveness. Again, that's not 100% uniquely Christmas. Certainly not. I don't see that. You don't see like family, like elements of family in here, aside from Alfred and Bruce. I think I really just see this. There's snow. I mean, well, certainly. I mean, that's the thing. I think that the film is this is one of those. This is a movie that takes place during Christmas because I want to fuck around with like Christmas iconography, but I'm clearly not thinking about this as being like a new Christmas tradition or a new or setting out to upend the Christmas movie themes,
like penguin burial.
Oh yeah, oh dear, they bury him at sea, or rather the sewer.
Yeah.
There are a couple of overtly Christmas stuff, that they make. And if I'm not mistaken, at the beginning, the flashback of when Pee Wee Herman throws the penguin baby into the river when they're pushing him in the pram to dump him over the bridge. I'm pretty sure they pass another couple who says Merry Christmas, so that they do kind of thematically, okay, his parents got rid of him at Christmas, so now it's Christmas and he's going to kill all Gotham's firstborn.
Return. Yeah.
And then he goes, I meant to do that.
And then they just doxed his mayoral speech, and that was the end of that.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'll say no to that one. It's like a lot of these are like take place during Christmas.
Yeah, but I will. The only thing I will say again, it takes place during Christmas, and I tend to think about watching Batman Returns during Christmas
and no other
because purely because of the scene setting. You know, the physical setup of the film itself, not because I feel like I want to feel Christmassy.
Sure. And at the end, I don't know if the end is actually one of the better moments of the movie too, when he thinks he sees Catwoman in the alley and it's just a cat.
Yeah.
And then you're right. I think, Brian, you mentioned when Alfred says, come with me, Merry Christmas, Mr. Wayne, and Bruce says, Merry Christmas, Alfred, goodwill toward men, pause, and women.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I don't know. Man, that's such a terrible. For some reason, I just don't like that one. I prefer watching Batman Forever and Batman and Robin over that one.
Oh no, I'm not going there.
Wow,
no.
Okay, Batman Forever, but maybe
that is a podcast for another time.
Ooh.
I don't know. Like a lot of people like it. It's just too dark for me. It's just it felt like
it's also boring. It's boring too. Yeah. That's the other problem in that movie. It's dull.
But I'm very interested to see what Tim Burton will do with the Addams Family. I guess he's going to be doing a TV series for that, like animated, I think, or maybe live one. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's meant to do that.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, was it Apple? Was it coming on Apple? I don't Netflix. I don't know. One of those streaming.
It's animated?
I don't know because
they just made the animated one.
Yeah, but that wasn't.
It's got released like
okay.
I
think he's doing a TV series though.
I think he's doing a TV series as well. That's my recollection.
Yeah.
If only we had some magic service at our fingertips that could tell us for sure one way or another.
Perhaps a net that enters between us.
A world wide web, perhaps. An information superhighway, if you will.
Yeah, he's definitely doing something. I'm pretty sure it's a TV series, and it's not animated. I don't think, because they just came out with an animated one and it was okay.
So what's our final verdict on Batman Returns? Do we even need to put it to a vote, or
no?
It's a movie that takes place during Christmas.
Yeah,
agreed.
You are welcome to watch during Christmas.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, we're not telling you not to watch these movies. We're just trying to see whether or not they're Christmas movies or not. All right, Ryan, you want to go next?
I do want to go next. All right, on my list, I'm going to flip a coin here. Okay, this might be a quick conversation, but I feel like Mystery Science Theater 3000, which hopefully you guys are both familiar with.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Some of the odds. Okay. They did. This is kind of like a two-for conversation here, just in general. Basically, they did 2 Christmas movies, which was Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, which I actually just watched this weekend.
Okay.
And then a movie that's simply called Santa Claus, which is actually a Mexican production, I believe.
All right.
So essentially, these are MST3K episodes that are produced and designed to be shown during Christmas on TV when they were originally broadcast. They are clearly riffing on what are Christmas movies, and so, but obviously through the filter of Mystery Science Theater 3000. So the satellite, and during these episodes, the Satellite of Love is all decked out in Christmas decorations. They usually are riffing on like presents during the skits, and then of course like all like the jokes themselves will be some Christmas jokes, but obviously just riffing on whatever's on screen at the time, but it's not 100% Christmas jokes themselves. But I mean, again, this is first for me. It's are these Christmas movies? I mean, well, those TV episodes as well. Now you go through, they become TV episodes now, going through Mystery Science Theater.
Right.
But they become for me like almost Christmas traditions. I don't watch the episodes every year, but I tend to always think about them. And maybe I'll like this year I watched one of them. Next year I'll watch the other one, the other one instead, and kind of like bounce back and forth.
Are these on DVD
every other
or
year
Blu-ray or?
They're all over the place. I mean,
okay.
I watched Santa Claus Conquers the Martians on YouTube. Like the whole episode's on.
Okay, so you watched the actual movie that they're making fun of.
No, well, I watched the episode.
Oh, okay.
I watched the MST episode is on YouTube.
Okay.
And I think it's on like the official
okay.
Mystery Science Theater channel.
All right.
But I just enjoy. I just really enjoy watching, these episodes during Christmas.
Sure.
It's for me. It's partially they're fun. I mean, not obviously. As with all MST, not every joke is a winner. But to me, it's partially nostalgia. First seeing these episodes probably when the first time they aired, or maybe like right after that. As a youth. And so there's like kind of that Christmassy nostalgia to that, and just seeing just the wacky shenanigans during Christmas on through them.
Dare I ask, how are the how are the movies themselves?
Oh, the movies are dreadful. I mean, as with everything. I mean,
sure, they watch. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you could watch these movies straight, and by straight meaning without MST and without copious amounts of drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, goes without saying.
But they're not made for adults. I mean, they're throwaway films made for kids to.
Right.
Shut up! You bother me. Go watch this for 80 minutes. Leave me alone.
I always liked Mystery Science Theater, but I would always just fast forward all the in between bits. Like I just want them making fun of the movies. It's like all that. I'm like, yeah, but like I probably do remember watching one of these movies that you're mentioning, because I remember watching Christmas ones. Like these have marathons on Comedy Central and other places.
Yes.
Yeah.
They would do like the Turkey Day.
Right.
Marathons during like Thanksgiving, which would be like 24 hours of like Misty episodes.
Where do they exist now? Those old episodes.
So it depends. A lot of it depends on what the actual film is, because of distribution rights.
Sure.
They have over time been putting a lot of the episodes on like DVD and Blu-ray. If the film is, if they can get basically they have to get like the film rights to the movie, basically to be able to distribute them. And so they do them that way, or they do some sort of like agreement with the rights holder to put them out. A lot of the episodes are also, you can like you can pay like a couple bucks and download them from like their official website. I think they pretty much have almost all the episodes on digitally at this point. And then a lot of people also just put them either through their official channel or unofficially in various quality on YouTube. So if there's like an older episode or a specific movie, it's like, oh yeah, I remember they like riffed on this, and you look for it, chances are they're out there. I would say like the biggest ones that I think are still like, I don't think they've put any of them out, are say like the Godzilla movies. So they were able to riff on those back in the like late 80s, early 90s. They had like some sort of access to those films for a moment, but now you can't put them out anymore. But like the Gamera films, they put all those out in like a special box set. So they're able to figure out how to watch those episodes.
So I did a quick search on Amazon, and they have the Santa Claus one. You can watch it on Prime as well. Yeah.
So a couple of the episodes are on Prime as well.
But it's like, I think it's Shout Factory does a lot of the DVDs and Blu-rays.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all the physical discs are pretty much, I think, through Shout TV.
All right, so we'll say it's a Christmas movie.
Yay!
All right, Eric, you want to go next?
Do it.
No, it's your turn, Brian.
Is it? All right.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right. So
sorry.
this one is, I guess, is up for debate because it's not entirely Christmas, but it came out on Christmas Day, and it's Catch Me If You Can with Tom Hanks and Leo. And it's got parts of it where it's got some Christmas stuff in it, but yeah, it's one of those movies I kind of associate with Christmas because I remember going to see it on Christmas Day back when I used to do that. Now I have a wife and I can't do that. Like, what do you mean I got to spend time with family? I want to go to see movies. But yeah, I mean, plus it's just a good movie too. But like, there's like a Christmas Eve scene where him and Tom Hanks are like talking on the phone because he's like
because he got no one else to talk to, right? Is that
yeah. And then there was another part where he finally got captured, and then he's like on a plane, but then he finds out that like his mom moved on, so he escapes and runs to his mom's house and sees them having Christmas dinner, and so it's like there's some Christmas elements to it. There might be Christmas music too, but I mean it's probably a 3-minute scene out of the entire movie, so I don't know if I would say it's a Christmas movie per se, but I don't know. It's one I would probably watch around this time. It's like the same thing with like Lord of the Rings. It's like they came out this time, so I kind of associate it with Christmas in a way.
Sure.
But it's not. They're not Christmas.
Interesting. Yeah, don't remember the Christmas scenes in Catch. That's a movie I've actually been wanting to revisit again.
It's been a while for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've watched it maybe once all the way through. I couldn't even say. And I know I've not seen it pretty much since it first came out.
Great jazzy score from John Williams. Yeah.
Amy Adams in a very early small role.
Yeah, and Martin Sheen, Christopher Walken again. A lot of Christopher Walken.
That's right.
But yeah,
it's got a good cast. It's one of Spielberg's latter better films.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But yeah, I don't know if I would put in a Christmas movie, but definitely one I'd like to watch around at this time.
All right.
Yeah, but
that's fair.
That's what
I guess. That's even. I guess that's almost another. The third column is the Christmas tradition type movie. So not necessarily the film might not even take place during Christmas, and maybe it's not a Christmas movie, but for some reason there's an association that one has with Christmas. So opening day, for instance, or seeing it during the holidays, and somehow it has, become, associated with you, because of watching it during when it came out, like its release date or whatever.
Yeah, it's like they released Christmas. Now it's this year's going to be Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
Yeah, so that's. I think I'm gonna watch it. Now I'm talking about it, I'm like, I want to watch it. I haven't seen it in a while, and my wife's never seen it either. I'm like, what?
Oh dear.
Yeah, just
remedy that.
Try to find time for that though. We're on a Veep.
Sure.
We're on a Veep kick right now. Since the election, we've just been watching the episodes of Veep, just laughing our asses off. Just I don't know, but anyway. Who's next?
I guess it's me again. So, Gremlins, kind of an obvious pick.
Yeah.
But it does take place entirely at Christmas because the dad, Joe Don Baker, he needs a present for his kid who I've never quite figured out how old Billy is supposed to be. Is he supposed to be like 16, 18, 20, 25? He's still living at home with his parents. But I've never been able to quite figure out how old he's supposed to be.
I feel like he's
senior,
just out of high school, either a senior or maybe they're just out of high school because, and I say that because he has
he works at the bank.
He works at the bank, so he's clearly old enough to work like a really real job. I'm totally blanking on her name.
Phoebe
Cates.
She works at a bar. So has to be old enough to serve at least.
No, you can sling drinks at 18.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So at least they've got to be at least 18, 19. He's still friends with, where he goes to like the high school, science teacher,
Right.
For help. So clearly he's not far enough removed from high school that he has like a college professor that he would go to instead. His immediate choice is to go to his high school, science teacher.
Okay.
So yeah, I would say if they're not seniors, they're maybe like right out of college, right? Like freshmen, college freshmen would be my
fair enough.
guess.
And the Gremlins
But the
have
whole
Santa hats, though. So right, yeah,
That's true.
So
And the whole movie takes place in the week or two leading up to Christmas, and it's right there. And if you guys remember the title sequence, there's this Christmas, da 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 da, Chris. When I was a kid, I was convinced they were saying Gremlins, da da da, Gremlins, Gremlins. I'm like, okay, there's a song about Gremlins, but no, it's an old carol that they took and repurposed for the movie. But so
yeah, no, I think you're not going to. It was on my list as well to talk about, and clearly, in my mind, it is a Christmas movie. I mean, just the setting of itself, the present, the whole crux of the film is he buys it he buys it as a present, and he has to open it early. You have again, there's the familial, coming together, all of the set pieces coming together. So many of the jokes are riffs or have to require Christmas element. The Gremlins singing Christmas carols. The imported porcelain snowman being destroyed. The Santa Claus being attacked by gremlins with a guy dressed up as Santa Claus, not the actual Santa Claus. I think all comes together to create the mom is watching. I think she's watching It's a Wonderful Life. On TV. She's making gingerbread cookies. So I think it all there's obviously you have the hilarious scene where Corey Feldman is dressed as a Christmas tree. Selling trees.
We always seem to be talking about Corey Feldman when I talk with you two. I brought him up the one time. I thought.
I mean, we if we're gonna talk about 80s and 90s movies, I mean, you
got to talk about the Coreys.
You're gonna hit one and or both of the Coreys.
Yeah. Well,
there's a decent amount of action in Gremlins too, which is why it was in my action theater package at Christmas time.
There is. I mean, it is one of the first, I would define, like, true horror comedies.
Yeah.
I mean, this is so, and successfully so. I mean, there are truly some horrific elements, in the film, and it's buoyed by, more comedic, moments or the childlike shenanigans, of the Gremlins, followed after they've murdered a few people. They watch Snow White. So it all comes out in the wash. But I actually read it. It was more of an anecdote. That Chris Columbus, who wrote Gremlins, had originally conceived and wrote the script as an R-rated movie. And after Steven Spielberg had read the script, came back to him and said, basically, you've got something here, but you've got to tone this down. You've got to make this, appeal to a slightly wider audience. I'm interested, but you've got to tone this down a little bit. Because I think in original, like, one of the moments I think he talks about is, like, in the original film, like, the mom, like, Billy's mom is, like, killed and, like, decapitated.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So it definitely they toned some of that down.
Yeah.
do you guys remember the knockoff Gremlins? It was like Munchies, I think it was called.
Well, there was
Ghoulies?
Munchies and Ghoulies.
Yeah,
Ghoulies were the ones that lived in the toilet.
but this was Munchies, where if you cut them in half, then they multiply, and then like
Sure.
That's Munchies. I think that is Munchies.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. Wow, that sounds
I
amazing.
used to watch that all the time when I was on TV, and I know, you know me with like it wasn't like scary, but it was like cheesy, kind of trying to be scary. Yeah,
It's Bryan approved scary.
yeah, it's Bryan approved,
AKA not scary at all.
and
Well,
enough to freak me out a little bit. Yeah, but
But
no, it was
speaking
cheesy.
well, not scary per se, but Ryan, I know you and I have had that conversation so much about Phoebe Cates's monologue about her dad, which goes over your head when you're a kid.
Oh no! I think that the first time I heard that soliloquy, the monologue, I was deeply disturbed. Like I was old enough to I recognized and understood exactly.
I think we talked about this on one podcast.
What she was talking about, and it's like, I'm going to fast forward through this scene for the rest of my life. I never want to hear this story again.
Yeah.
That's right. I think we talked about this in movies that upset us as kids that we shouldn't have been seeing. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So Gremlins Christmas movie?
I'm going to say yes.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. I'll say yes, even though I haven't seen it.
Yay.
I haven't seen it in ages, but it sounds Christmassy to me.
Stamp it.
All right. Let's see. I want to do one. This is one I was actually kind of surprised about, which it's not a Christmas movie. It's an 80s movie. There's parts of Christmas in it for about 2 minutes, but Better Off Dead with John Cusack. There's some Christmas elements to it. I think he got broken up with Deb Lanemeyer. She dumped him right before Christmas break. And then at one point during Christmas, he was trying to do one of his many failed suicide attempts. Ha ha! And then it goes through his dad's garage because he keeps breaking it, and he had like a Christmas bow on it, and they're dressed up as reindeer. And then Ricky gives was it Monique gives him like the picture.
Monique.
Yeah, Monique. I was gonna say Yvette for some reason. But yeah, it gives him like that iconic picture of him looking all doofy, and she was like laughing. So I'm like, there's some little Christmas parts to it, but it's a movie that takes place during Christmas in the end.
Yeah, that's actually been on my short list to revisit, along with some of the other Cusack classics.
Yeah, it's not available on streaming though. I have the Blu-ray for it, but I don't know why like that one is not available on any streaming platform. I think it's Paramount too. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say like what's the sometimes like it's those wacky rights the rights holdups to figure out like who gets to actually stream this and take your 5 cents.
Yeah, it's like Young Guns 1 is not on streaming platform, but Young Guns 2 just came out on streaming platform. So I'm like, I can't watch this. I can't watch just the second one.
You won't know what's going on.
In a way, I mean, it's, but yeah, I mean, as much as I brought it up on the list, I wouldn't consider it a Christmas movie. It's a great movie.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, that actually kind of segues nicely into, I think, what I'm going to choose as my next movie, which is an 80s movie, or from the 80s, and absolutely a Christmas movie, is Scrooged with Bill Murray.
Ah.
I mean, that's kind of, yeah, there's no debate about it. I mean, I don't think it as an alternative because I consider it a Christmas movie. It's a dark and creepy kind of at times Christmas movie, but
well, I guess that's where I'm going. Is it's clearly like kind of like a product of its time in taking the Christmas Carol and updating it with a 100% 80s ethos and kind of dissection of the morals or somewhat lack thereof of the 80s. But it's a dark film overall, and I guess I think of it as more like an alternative Christmas movie. Like you're not like necessarily gonna like gather the family. It's like gather around, kids. Like let's watch Bill Murray
I would put
be
that
a dick.
in the same column as like Bad Santa in a way. Yeah, it's like one of those darker kind of Christmas movies. Have you tried Staples? Staples.
Scrooge is great.
Yeah,
but I always thought about like the ghost of Christmas Future, like being like, you know, his head is like a
television.
TV.
Yeah, the inside
or like the inside is a TV set, and
well, no, all those little creepy little bodies when he
and
opens
all this
faces. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, and I like the homeless guy dying, and it's like certain parts of it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, him in his own coffin being cremated is pretty upsetting.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, poor Lumpy.
I think that
poor
guy.
Lumpy.
I think that guy just passed away recently, like in the last couple of months.
Which guy?
The guy that was in Scrooged.
Which guy?
The homeless guy that ends up dying in that movie.
I don't remember.
I think he just passed away. I forget his name.
But
I'm gonna go look it up. But yeah, go ahead. You guys talk.
It is a good movie though, Ryan.
Oh, no, I think it's a great movie. I honestly and non-sarcastically, watch that as a Christmas movie.
Absolutely.
It checks all the boxes for me.
And it's actually got some interesting stuff to say too about memory, because if you remember that I forget which ghost is asking him, hey, do you remember this? Yeah, but and then, like, no, that wasn't you. That was an episode of Gilligan's Island or whatever. It's like all his memories, he has no real memories. All his memories are television. That's it. That's all he has, except, of course, that his dad was a dick and played by his brother Bryan Doyle Murray, which was genius.
Yeah, so I think that's where kind of like thinking about it in terms of like it's the somewhat cynical or like this satirical look at reflection on 80s values and how we're growing up and our obsession with television. I mean, I think it's a brilliant decision to have the current Scrooge being played, being a TV. I think he's like a vice president or something, like a TV executive. In the show, in the movie is an absolutely brilliant idea, and kind of in a proto clearly, I mean, definitely not made by the same people, but like Gremlins 2, not a Christmas movie at all, but also dealing with satirizing television programming and our obsession with
Richard Donner movie, same thing as Lethal Weapon. Yeah.
Oh, Scrooge was a Dick Donner joint.
Yeah.
Oh wow, forgotten that.
Man, what's he, 90, 91 now?
91, I think.
The actor who died was Michael J. Pollard. Yeah, he died last year. It was November of 2019. Okay. But I thought he just passed away recently. But sorry to be Debbie Downer, but
that's all right. Speaking of Richard Donner, the only time we've seen him in years was on the Reunited Apart for the Goonies that Josh Gad did this year.
Right.
If you guys saw that.
I did. And he's got a new one coming out.
Does he? Okay, cool. I really dig those. I think they're
Wayne's
fun.
World. Yeah.
Oh boy! All right, that'll be fun.
It's like coming out tomorrow. Yeah, Monday.
Nice.
Because which will be good because Dana Carvey's not really doing anything, and neither is Mike Myers.
And didn't they have a big falling out over those? No, it was over the Austin Powers movies. I think they had a big falling out.
Well, Dana Carvey, last year he was on Conan's podcast, and he did such hilarious stuff with Conan, and it was
funny,
so much more, like so much that he did a spinoff. Conan did a spinoff of just Dana Carvey doing like Johnny Carson impressions, like all of like his usual stuff, but he would do like little bits out of it. It was just like I was like driving to work, just giggling my ass off. I was like, you have to look them up. They're really just hilarious podcast episodes with Dana Carvey. But yeah, he has been doing something. His son's like a comedian now, and
sure.
Yeah.
All
right. Okay. So Scrooge, obviously that's a Christmas movie.
Clearly, Christmas.
Definitely a Christmas movie.
All right. Do you want me to go, or do you want Eric? Do you want to go?
I'll go quickly because I've only got a couple more, and they're just going to be quick picks, because they happen to take place at Christmas. So I was researching a story about 5 years ago about specifically Christmas action movies, and I'm like, are there any that I've not seen? Because I've seen the two Die Hards. I've seen Batman Returns, Gremlins, and Lethal Weapon, and I'm like, okay, there's a couple I've never seen, and they're not very good, which is part of the reason that I'd been resisting. But the one I'll go with, just because part of it happened to be filmed in my home state, was Turbulence with Ray Liotta. So he's a prisoner who's being transferred somewhere on a jet, and it's Christmas Eve, and Lauren Holly, if you guys remember her, who used to be married to Jim Carrey for like a minute and a half,
Dumb and Dumber,
is the flight attendant, whatever. And I don't remember too much about it, but I watched it once researching the story. I'm like, man, this is terrible. But it is an action movie. It takes place on Christmas Eve. Ray Liotta at his most Ray Liottian, just kind of chewing up the scenery and being crazy.
when did this come
So
out?
that 95, 96, something like that.
I want to say 96, 97.
Oh,
It definitely came out right when I was working at Blockbuster, because I remember, I can picture the VHS the cover for it.
I don't remember this at all. So definitely a straight to video, I would imagine.
No, that went to the theaters.
Really?
I think it tanked. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I think it might have been in and out, but it was definitely in the theaters.
And part of it was shot in Clinton, Ryan. That's what I remember as well.
Clinton Road.
But so yeah, it does take place at Christmas. It's an action movie. I don't remember it enough to say, is this a Christmas movie or does it take place at Christmas? I'm leaning towards the latter.
Who cares? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, the coveted fourth title. Who cares?
I mean, if somebody out there listening wants to go and make their argument, please do so. And let us know your thoughts.
I have no say on it, but yeah. I will say no Christmas movie. All right. I'm gonna go next. Which I'm surprised hasn't been brought up yet. Trading Places.
Trading Places?
Yeah, no, Trading Spaces, the TLC show.
Way to have me going there.
Trading Places with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd. It's a Christmas movie and a New Year's Eve movie.
Interesting.
Like Dan Aykroyd. It's like during that time. It's so I mean it's a kind of those movie that kind of takes place during Christmas and New Year's Eve. And it's like Dan Aykroyd in it. He's like gets all pissed drunk and then goes and tries to go. I think he was trying to go shoot Eddie Murphy's character. So I mean they got that a little bit, but as a Christmas movie, I don't know. I'm kind of I would have to see it again. But I mean I used to watch that movie a lot. It's definitely a comedy classic.
It's a funny one.
Yeah, and I was like wondering, like, is Coming to America a Christmas movie? But I remember it takes place in the winter. That's why I probably was like, look that up. But Trading Places definitely takes place during Christmas. But I don't consider it a Christmas movie. Just wanted to talk about it.
All right.
Anyone else have any other movies on their list?
So I wanted the last one I think of note that is conversationally, although this is I freely admit this is going to I think it's going to cut both you guys out of this because I know Eric hasn't seen this and I know Bryan hasn't seen it.
A horror movie.
Yes, it is. The 1984 shock sensation Silent Night, Deadly Night.
I'm looking forward to watching this with you, Ryan.
I've heard of it.
Okay.
But yeah.
So I mean the basic. I mean this is clearly like, if you want it, like for horror hounds, it's like, oh yeah, that's my Christmas movie. Like because it's like, it definitely takes place during Christmas. It is so overtly Christmas that I feel like you could make the argument for it that it is like an anti-Christmas Christmas movie. But the basic gist of the film is in the opening sequence flashback. You have a young boy witnesses the murder of his parents by a guy dressed as Santa Claus.
So Mormon.
Yeah, right out of the gate. You know, got to set the tone right, and then it's like 10 like we flash forward like 10 years or something like that, and the guy, there's like him and his younger brother, and the older brother, who is like our main character, has like he's left the foster home because he's like 18, he's like over 18 now or whatever, and he's working in a toy store, and he has to his boss forces him to dress as Santa Claus for the store, and it triggers something, and he goes wacky, and he just starts murdering people dressed as Santa Claus.
How could this not be good?
Oh, it is absolutely just dripping with sleaze and grime and just unpleasantness.
I'm surprised you guys haven't brought up like a Krampus movie.
Krampus was on my list as well. I will say that. But I just thought that's my next official pick. I thought I would just bring it. I love the name of the movie by itself as well.
Oh, it's amazing.
That's probably why I know it. Yeah, because of the name.
And Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the poster like a Santa guy going into a chimney with an axe?
Yeah.
Okay.
The picture is like it's like a Santa Claus. It's like a Santa hand with a giant axe. Like,
that tells you everything you need to know right there.
I feel
part of the film's notoriety is that, of course, being a Christmas movie, it was released during Christmas, and you had all of these like concerned mother like community groups were protesting this film, were writing letters to like the movie theaters, like, you have to take this film out. You're writing the people, the distributors, you have to stop distributing this movie. You're like destroying Santa Claus and all this good stuff. So it's like added to the film's notoriety.
Brilliant.
But it is, I mean, is it a? It's a watch. I mean, I mean, for the 80s horror freaks that are out there, like, if you haven't seen this movie, like, you have to knock this off their list this season.
I think we have to watch that together sometime soon, Ryan.
It's happening.
I'm in.
A ReadJunk watch party on Facebook.
There you go.
I just had two more. Another one's another Christmas action movie that I think is actually a pretty terrible movie. Is The Long Kiss Goodnight with Gina Davis. It's not a good movie. It's kind of all over the place. It was a Shane Black scripted. I forget who directed it. Wasn't it the Norwegian guy? What's his name? Rennie Harlin.
Yes, yeah, that is a Rennie Harlin feature film.
Oh, it's not good. It's really not good. But it does take place over Christmas. It's all action, just crazy. Gina Davis has a split personality, and but it does take place at Christmas.
Yes, I mean, it does have Sam Jackson in it before he truly embraced the Sam Jackson persona.
Sure.
When he could play other people other than just himself.
Himself, right.
So there's that.
There's that.
I mean, but it's also, I mean, okay, it's not a great film, but at least, I do think it had, the one thing it really does have going for it is that, like, Gina Davis is kind of a badass in the film. I mean, she can hold her own. I mean, here we have like a female led, action film. You don't really, in Hollywood, you don't really have that too much. I mean, you still don't have that too much, but even back then, I mean, that was certainly a rarity and a gamble to take. I mean, outside of like martial art films, where they learned to do that much earlier on, you just didn't have a lot of like true like female led action movies. So here's Gina Davis, and I think this was also like which also was Rennie Harlin, maybe not, was Cutthroat Island, when you were trying to
it was the same pairing.
We were trying to turn Gina Davis into an action hero,
which I've not seen. Is it as bad as I've heard? Or
I like the music. I like the music for it, but
the music is fun.
Yeah,
but it is. I mean, it rightfully killed the pirate genre until Pirates of the Caribbean tried to brought back that as the only pirate movie you could ever make.
I think that was the biggest bust of a movie since until Waterworld, I think.
I think so.
After Waterworld, I think, or was the same year?
Same year or the year
Same
after.
year,
I think Cutthroat was 96 and Waterworld was
95.
95.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Maybe Cutthroat was 94. I mean, I think it was right around the same time. I was right around the same.
But they
year,
both took a bath.
They both, yeah. I mean, Cutthroat was just took an
Wow.
absolute tank.
All right.
Wow.
I have one that we can talk about that could be up for debate.
Let's talk about it.
Ray, he's on the podcast every once in a while. He brought up one time we talked about Christmas movies, might have been last year, but he brought up Funny Farm with Chevy Chase.
I know the film, but I've never actually seen it. So
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
The last part of it takes place in Christmas, but I'm like, you can't say it as a Christmas movie. It's just a Christmas scene in it.
Right.
You know,
Goodfellas has a Christmas scene. It's not a Christmas movie.
Yeah, like Godfather. Like I have The Godfather. That's one of those movies where it's kind of a tradition. My dad would used to put that on during like the marathons, and I'm like, why are we watching Godfather? It's like it's a 5-hour movie with the commercials because we would watch it on like cable.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so it's like one of those kind of movies where there's some Christmas stuff in it, but it's like I have a huge list of all these movies that have some Christmas scenes in it, like Rocky IV, Edward Scissorhands, I think, had some Christmas stuff in it. It did. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, L.A. Confidential, which I haven't seen in a long time.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's right.
Serendipity, which I've never seen. I'm looking at other people's lists. And I'm like, I've never seen this, so I can't. But I guess it's like a romantic comedy that takes place. Grumpy Old Men, I guess, had a Christmas scene.
Yeah, I think any movie that just has a scene by default. It's just like, this is not a. I mean, no. This film, something like The Godfather, could be a movie that takes place that's you watch during Christmas. So maybe it's a tradition. So
it's a tradition,
for instance, like for me, like I don't think of these as Christmas movies at all, but I tend to watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Me too.
During the winter, or like because you're just inside. It's cold. I'm not going anywhere.
Did you buy the 4K?
I didn't yet because I don't have a 4K TV.
Oh.
And I don't have a 4K player, and I'm just not ready to
make
that financial investment. And then like, oh great, now I got to buy all my movies again in 4K. I'm just not ready to go down that financial rabbit hole.
Yeah, I mean, some of it's noticeable, some of it's not. But I've heard the recent one that that came out, which was I bought it on Amazon. It was like $85 for the set for just Lord of the Rings, and it said like 1 or 2 months for delivery. Thankfully, it's like nope, it got shipped out. So I'll be seeing that soon because like I'm like, do I show my son Lord of the Rings? I don't know if it'll be too scary.
How old is he?
He's 5. I mean, he watches Jurassic World all the time. We just watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. But it's like if it's an hour long movie, so like a movie, he's like, this movie's long.
So there's no way to sit through.
So it's like we'd have to like watch it in like 3 or 4 parts.
Well, we've lost the old DVDs where the movies were like on 2 discs, so like it was almost like
I've got them.
Almost watched 6 movies. I mean, I have them still, yeah, but like the Blu-rays, I think are just the whole movie just plays straight through.
Oh.
Yeah, the Blu-ray has the old one and has the extended edition, awesome documentaries, but this 4K one doesn't. So it's like, great, now I gotta own both. Oh my god.
That's how they get you.
I know, and it's like I'm like I want to sell it, get some money for this. I pretty much exhausted all my list. I have Harry Potter on here because there is some like Christmas elements to it, which I just watched around the fall because I kind of associate it more with Halloween in a way. I don't know, but a lot of these movies have come out in November, so it's kind of like those tradition kind of thing.
Okay. The last thing that I've got on my list, which is a cheat because it's TV, it's definitely TV. It's not a movie episode. Is Beavis and Butthead Do Christmas?
Yes, I'm glad you went there.
which is for me again. I mean, it is.
We need to watch that. We need to watch that one again.
Anytime. It's clearly in the pantheon of the Grinch, Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Beavis and Butthead Do Christmas, Charlie Brown Christmas. Eat your heart out. It's all about Beavis and Butthead. But it's such a amazing.
It is pretty damn funny.
It's 40 minutes of just brilliance.
When did that come out? Was that come out when in its prime, or was it something afterwards?
Yeah, it came. Those episodes came out in 90. Hold on, fill time. I'm going to check my DVD.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say on here.
What's it say?
Well, the earliest copyright date on this is 96, but I feel like those episodes came out before that.
Yeah, wasn't it like 92?
I want to say like the episode the Beavis and Butthead the Do Christmas special. I feel like was like 93 or 94. So
yeah, it was probably before the movie.
I've probably seen it. I don't remember.
It's basically so there's two main episodes. So it's like an hour long. I mean, it's like an hour on TV, which is like 40 minutes of content. Yeah. So basically you have Beavis gets put into the Christmas Carol episode. And I think it's called like Ho Ho Humbug or something like that. And then and so he plays Scrooge. So he gets to go through his what would happen if Beavis didn't exist. Oh no, I'm sorry, no, that's no, I'm sorry, that's like the present, past, present, and future. So you see him in the past and a present and a future, and he dies, and his grave says like he never scored. So he's like, oh, I gotta change. Peter. And then Butthead is put into It's a Wonderful Life, but the episode is called It's a Miserable Life, and so that shows what would happen if Butthead didn't exist. And all the characters are like happy, like Beavis is good, like everybody, like the whole town is like nice.
Man,
because
I don't
Butthead doesn't exist.
Hold up your DVD. What is it?
So it's
so it's like a separate one.
Yeah, this DVD has the Do Christmas episodes and then a couple like Halloween themed episodes.
Because I have some of the like Blu-ray and like the box set ones. I don't know if that's included on it or not.
They might be. I mean, they were just part of like they were just part of like the regular season, but it was like a two episode kind of extended show basically. But I think it was just part of like essentially the regular whatever season that was like part of the regular season. So it might be on there.
All right.
But they're great. And then they have like cutaways where they're like answering letters from like to Santa Butthead and like some other stuff. And I think there's like I don't know if I think there was originally maybe music videos in them, but I think what they were able to get onto the DVD is they're just watching the Yule log burning on TV. So it's just good.
I wonder if I could find this somewhere. I'm kind of curious to watch it now. Maybe YouTube.
As I say so often, if you will it, dude, it is no dream.
It is no dream.
All right, so I think did we exhaust all of our options?
I have just one more to close.
All right.
With and
what's the headline?
Why can't I talk today? Is what the hell is it called? Oh, geez, I'm sorry. Ryan was just talking about getting old there. What's the English movie with all the famous English actors that takes place at Christmas?
Love Actually?
Emma Thompson. Yeah, thank you. Love Actually.
I mean, that's a Christmas movie.
Yeah. Okay, well, that was easy to solve.
Yeah, it is, but it's like it's a depressing one. And every year I find little things to nitpick with that one. It's like they have that wedding scene where it's like, was it just a fucking band that was in the crowd?
Right.
And then
Every time the scene with Hugh Grant when he's dancing to the Pointer Sisters just breaks me every single
I
time.
love it.
It's
Yeah.
so funny. And when you're married to a British person like I am, it's just, you know how buttoned up these people are. So, and just their number one fear in the universe is being embarrassed. So that's why that scene is so great when he gets caught for dancing and having a good time.
Yeah, I need to watch that one because my wife's like, I don't want to watch it anymore, and it's like, but I'm like, I like the one when Hugh Grant goes and finds the actress that he's, but she's like, where's my fucking coat?
It's got some good stuff.
Yeah, it's like was it Richard Curtis? I think that wrote it.
Yes, it was.
Which, what was the thing? What was the thing he did with Boyle?
For Weddings and a Funeral?
No, not. No, the last thing he did, the very last thing. I'm trying to think. He did that with, fuck, I don't know. Well, Pirate Radio is one that kind of there's.
Pirate Radio is good. Oh, Yesterday.
That's the one. That's what I'm thinking of. Right. Yeah, but Pirate Radio had a couple of Christmas stuff in it too.
Pirate Radio is pretty great.
Yeah, great soundtrack. One of the best soundtracks of all time, I think.
Such a funny movie.
Yeah, but I love that. I love actually the soundtrack. I love just my wife doesn't, but there's just like so many creepy things, like him like going filming his friend, the porn stuff, and I think like Kristen Stewart just brought up the other day about Colin Firth's like character, how I don't know why the hell she brought up him. Like he was like he fell in love with this person that they didn't speak any language. They fell in love, anyway. But I'm like, that's the problem. That's the character you bring up is the one, like the actual person that was actually fallen in love.
And to bring it full circle, Alan Rickman, which is where we began, back with Die Hard.
He was such a piece of shit in that movie.
He was. He really, really was.
Yeah, it was just. Yeah, it's like I watch it every year. I'm like, why do I watch this? It's like it is a Christmas movie, but there's a lot of elements to it. It's like it's fucking depressing. It's like why do I keep watching it? But there's something about it that there's a lot of funny parts to it. There's kind of that balance, which I guess makes it a true Christmas movie.
Exactly.
Yeah. But this was a fun conversation of just talking.
Absolutely.
I mean, I love talking movies with you guys. I mean, we didn't really make a good argument about a lot of these movies, but I think we have a solid stance on Die Hard and Lethal Weapon and Gremlins. The rest is kind of wishy-washy, but
yeah.
But those
some of them are just outright Christmas movies. There's no debate. But clearly,
Silent Night, Deadly Night.
I gotta get on that. That sounds amazing.
I think we need to. We'll just. I think
absolutely.
What we've offered the ReadJunk audience is a lovely selection of cinematic treats to get them through the holiday season.
As the evil Santa said in the Simpsons episode with Bone Storm, shove that up your Christmas stocking.
Going back to the circle.
And with that.
But do you guys have anything going on that you need to plug or anything, or you guys?
I don't. I mean, so longtime listeners will recognize me as DJ Ryan Midnight. I fully admit I have really dropped off on doing most of my online stuff, but you can follow me at facebook.com/DJ Ryan Midnight for all of my.
You've been doing Twitch stuff with Lonely.
I've been doing Twitch stuff, like once a month or so. Yeah, I've been doing stuff like online, ska sets. Like every month or so. Working on some other stuff behind the scenes that I hope to have. That maybe we'll have to promote
ska shows, perhaps maybe in the summertime.
I mean, what else? Well, there's ska stuff online. Why wait for the summer? Let's offer some online entertainment. But you can follow me there for whatever I'm doing, and that's about it for me.
Cool.
I don't really have too much right now. other than I've been able to get some pretty good bylines recently. I get to talk to the guy who did the Fog of War. Oh my gosh, what is happening to me tonight? I can't remember anybody's name anymore.
I think it's alcohol on Sunday night.
Yeah, this is my second beer tonight. But supposedly, I'm going to be able to have sit down. When I say sit down, be on the internet with John Hamm and John Patrick Shanley about a new movie they're doing together.
Oh, awesome!
Nice.
Yeah, so that'll be coming up soon, as well. Now I got to know the guy's name. This is going to bother me. Errol Morris, that's his name.
Oh.
Errol Morris.
Oh.
Yeah. So talked to him a couple weeks ago. He was a really, really interesting guy.
Cool.
Oscar winner. One of those people. Yeah, his people were like, okay, he might talk for a long time. I'm like, that's all right.
Well, I mean, where can people find your stuff?
So my stuff, the best way to find my bylines is to go to my Muckrack profile. So it's Muckrack, I think, / Eric Altoff or Eric F. Altoff. What else do I have? Yeah, I don't really have too much going on, right?
It's the end of the year, yes, that's why.
Yeah, exactly.
And COVID.
So, but next time we talk, I hope that's not the case. Actually, I will plug this documentary I produced called The Long Hair will be in a couple of regional film festivals in the first part of 2021. Yes, it's a short 8-minute documentary.
About long hair?
About the last independent barber in the state of North Dakota.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
So the short answer is the short answer is my co-producer lives in Grand Forks, North Dakota, because his wife teaches at the university there. So, and he found this guy, and so he did all the work on the ground, and I did some stuff here, and based on, we won a couple Emmys for our previous one. He's like, let's see what we can do with this. So that's what we're trying to do.
Awesome.
We'll see what awards we can rack up for that one in 2021, because once you make movies and you get awards, then you get to make more movies. That was one thing Errol Morris did tell me. He said, why people asked me, why do you make movies? And I said, supposedly the best answer is so I can make more movies.
That's a good answer. Good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Thank you. Very long-winded answer on my part, but there you go.
Awesome, guys. Well, you guys have happy holidays and be safe out there.
Thank you. Same to you.
Yeah.
Do the same.
And same to the audience listening out there.
Yeah. Hunker down. It's going to be a long winter.
Stay safe, everyone.
Yeah.
Make yourself some mulled wine. Put some puzzles together.
So we can all gather again in 2021. We need everybody healthy.
Yes.
Exactly.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
All right, gentlemen. Take care.
Easy.
Bye.